Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Wealth and Wisdom with Fred Belcastro from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich on Friday, September the 4th, the year 2015. And now, here he is, Mr. Fred Belcastro.
When you're smiling, when you're smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing, oh, you're laughing. When the sun comes shining through. When you're crying, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing. Won't you be happy again? When you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the world will smile.
Good morning and welcome to the Wealth and Wisdom program. My name is Fred Belcastro, your host, and during the next 30 minutes, we'll be talking about how we can use our wisdom to grow and protect our wealth. Once again, we're privileged to be broadcasting from the John DeVita Broadcast Center here on the northwest side of Chicago. And we're using the call letters Jack FM 89.7 WRHS out of Norwich. But you already know the station numbers, otherwise you couldn't hear us. We're broadcasting now Friday mornings from 10 until 10:30, 89.7 WRHS in Norwich, Illinois. Last week we touched towards the conclusion of our discussion on deferred annuities, deferring the taxes. And I wanted to make mention of the tax that we pay on our Social Security. Many people think that at the retirement age we're not going to be paying taxes on our Social Security, and then we're surprised to find out that in most cases we do. If we're single and we file a single return, and our income reaches $25,000, we'll pay up to 50% of our Social Security benefits, of our taxation, to be taxed. If we're between 25 and 34, we're at 50%. If we're over 34, we'll pay up to 85% on our benefits that might be taxable. How about joint? If it's husband and wife, age 65, we reach $32,000. From $32,000 to $44,000, we're going to pay up to 50% on our Social Security benefits. From $44,000 and up, 85%. So individuals saying, gee, they're taking out chunks of money on my Social Security to pay taxes. That's right, up to 85% of your income can be taxed at the Social Security level. And what amount then? What's included? People have told me years and years, I've got tax-free. I've got municipal bonds. They're tax-free. You know, one of the things that we learned, I think, in the first year of 101 taxation is that the answer to most of these things is it depends. Tax-free, it's federal tax-free on our federal 1040s now. But it may not be tax-free in the state. So it could be included in our state income tax, the tax-exempt benefits that you get from the municipal bonds. So if we're looking, again, with Social Security, we compute the amount of dollars that we have for Social Security taxation. We take our income, all of the 1099s, and of course the amounts that we get from Social Security. We put 1/2 of what our Social Security benefits are for the year. So if it's $25,000, we'll put $12,500 on a line. Then we'll enter our taxable pensions and wages, interest, dividends, and so forth. But then, one step further, we'll enter our tax-exempt interest. On line 8B is where your tax preparer will put in the amount of dollars that you received or were put into your account on the basis of a municipal bond or tax-exempt securities. Those aren't added in the column for your federal tax, but they are included when the computation of the taxable benefits on Social Security. So they're going to be included. They're going to be added right back. So if you say they're tax-free, if you don't have any Social Security coming in, they're tax-free on the federal. But if they're Social Security, they're used to compile the amount of income that you receive, one half of the benefits. When I talk about deferring taxes, and last week I mentioned the benefits that I liked as far as an annuity, deferring the taxes. Don't forget, when we're deferring the taxes, we're deferring the amount of taxation, and we're deferring the amount that we're going to pay. If we're currently in a 15% or 19% marginal tax bracket and we defer the taxes that we pay, that means we're not going to pay them in the 15 or 19% bracket that we're in. We're going to pay them in some future bracket. If that future bracket requires a higher rate of taxation, so in other words, if tax rates go up to 20, 25, or 30, we're going to save the money, defer the money at a 19 or 15%, and we're going to pay it in a 30 to 35%. Do you see what I'm saying? So always, deferring isn't to the benefits. But if we have no other income at age 65, husband and wife do not have to file if their income is less than $23,000. It's about $23,100 for this year. What I'm saying there is that if we have control of the amount of money in our deferred annuities, that we're able to siphon off little by little by little to keep us under the 23,000 or 30,000, 31,000, 32,000, will eliminate that $34,000 starting place for the taxation of Social Security. Just a little bit of tax planning, just a little bit of taking a look at it prior to reaching those ages and those terms. We talk about reaching those times. I have to say over and over, one of the things I've talked about is that website where you're able to view a 7 to 10 minute video on are you ready? Are you ready for retirement? Are you serious about the financial future, what the amount of dollars is going to have when you reach age 65? I got a question, a phone call from an individual, Josh, and one of the things I want to go over was some of these questions. Number one, what rate of return do you have to earn on your investments, on your savings dollars right now in order to reach that goal? Do you know? If we don't plan ahead, if we don't get ourselves answering these questions, if we don't make ourselves ready for these questions, they're going to hit us like a freight train. It's going to happen. It's coming. It's on its way. And when it's here, there isn't anything you can do about it. You're not going to make an adjustment, or the rate of return on that you needed for the accumulation of your money is past. It's bygone. It's like the things that we did in high school. It doesn't have anything to do with what the rate of return is now on the distribution, because that's the portion you're in at age 65 and beyond, or when you retire. If there is a gap, if we're 60 years old and we're planning to retire at 70, how much more do we need to put in the coffers? How much more monthly, annually do we have to set aside at that rate of return? See, you have to know the rate of return that you're earning so that you can gauge how much additional dollars you need to put into that pot, into that tank. How much more do you need to save on a monthly or quarterly or annual basis? And if we don't do anything at all, how long will we have to continue working? Will we have to continue working to 66, 67, 68, 69? How long will we have to work in order to make up that deficit, if there is a deficit? And if we don't do anything about our retirement and just wait until the freight train comes and wait until we see what happens, will we have to reduce our standard of living? And if we have to reduce our standard of living, what do we have to reduce it by? Do you have enough money to retire? What's your income going to be at 60, 65 years old, or when the retirement date rolls around? And before you can answer any of these questions, and I've said over and over again, why don't you give me a call, 630-673-4360, or send an email FBell Secure, that's FBEL SECURE at AOL.com. And let's first find the amount of benefits that you're going to be entitled to for Social Security. No, not the statement that you may get once a year showing what your normal retirement benefits are, but consider the possibilities of filing and suspending or taking various modifications of your social that you're entitled to, that the Social Security Administration says we leave millions and millions on the table. See what strategies that you can apply to your own account that'll put you in a better position to determine what rate of interest you need, how much you have to save, how long will you have to work. Over and over again, these things are important. We're on the tracks. It's just a matter of time. Do you have enough money to retire? Do you want to work a few more years? You've got to plan for it. One of the easiest ways of course, settling this is doing an analysis of the Social Security that's available to a husband and spouse or individuals at 62, 63, all the way to 70. And it's important that you consider these. Many of the things that we've done in the past. We talked about saving money, accumulating money, warehousing dollars, putting money in fixed, putting money in variable, putting money in tax exempt. All that really changes because at retirement we're going to start withdrawing some of this money. So the focus is going to move from an accumulation to a distribution. And many of the retirement, the qualified plans, there is a minimum distribution that has to be taken at the year following the age 70 and a half. Because so you have to become a little more savvy with this. And the website, the address to view a free, no obligation, 7 to 10 minute video explaining some of these factors. Listen, you can sit in your living room, your front room, your office, wherever your computer is, an iPad, and take a look. Enter the information and see where you're at. It doesn't cost you anything other than 5 or 10 minutes of your time. The web page for that, Belcastro, my name, BELCASTRO .Circle of Wealth, and spell it all out, CIRCLE of wealth, you know how to spell it, circleofwealth.com. Sit back, relax, and listen, and hopefully some of that educational video will make an awful lot of sense. Ring a bell and say, hey, retirement, are you ready? Are you ready for that? And that video discuss everything that you need to learn, be aware a little bit more with the unnecessary wealth transfers. We talked about wealth transfers ever since I began the show. I said there's more money to be gained in eliminating all the losses in our portfolio or in our budgets than there can be in an investment or looking for an investment. There's a time for an investment, but let's tighten things up here before we go trying to put our money at risk. Don't forget, if we save $1, that's $1 that we've saved without any risk whatsoever. When you go shopping and have a Groupon or coupons or whatever it is, when you save that $20 or $30, was there any risk involved? No risk at all. The problem is that you don't save that 20. I know it, but I'm trying to underline a concept of saving is without risk. Investing, there's a risk. So let's see. Are you ready? Are you ready? And let's take a few minutes and have a break and think about, are you ready?
Just the way you
Are you ready? See, she's ready. That was Barbara Mason singing Yes, I'm Ready from 1965. You know, it's awfully nice receiving bonuses, receiving rewards, receiving compliments, receiving extras, and buy one, get one free. We all love that. Some of the information that I've received through the weeks have to do with bonuses on the air. There's talking about receiving an extra 5 or 10, 15% when you purchase this annuity. So it's nice to be able to, as a standpoint of a company, to be able to tell the consumer that you're going to get an extra 5% or an extra 10% added to your annuity premium if you take this this annuity with our company or with our office. But I wonder if the consumer would be as happy or as receptive about it if they were told that this bonus that they receive is essentially prepaid interest, meaning that, listen, we can give you the bonus up front, but you're going to earn less interest in subsequent years than if you had picked an annuity without. You see, the bonus is ranging from anywhere from a 1% to 12% to 15 and 20%. I've seen them. But regardless of the size of it, the reality is the cost of these upfront bonuses or these gifts are going to be deducted out of your future earnings. So it's really sweet nothings. That's what I call these bonuses, sweet nothings. A lot of times the bonus is just a cost that's added to the contract, just like the commissions and policy expenses, and they spread these costs, these bonuses, over this expected life of the annuity or the contract itself. The higher the cost, the greater the annual expense. That's deducted actually from the interest that's earned. So it's really a sweet nothing. You're not getting something with these bonuses. If you cash in the annuity prior to the full length of the contract, there's going to be an adjustment in the amount of dollars that you received in the form of the bonus. So if you're comparing two annuity contracts, and I'm telling you this in the following weeks, if you have an opportunity to look at a couple of different contracts that are almost identical, except that one has an upfront bonus and the other one doesn't, the one with the bonus will earn less interest at future renewal periods. No getting away from it, my friends. Remember I said misinformation, disinformation. Everything is fine. Everything is good if it's presented factually. So you're not getting something for nothing. You're not getting a sweet nothing, as I call it. Does this mean, am I saying that the bonus is bad? No, I'm not saying that at all. You know, sometimes you might rather have a bird in the hand. Maybe I would like to have that bonus because that's interest that I could see or feel that I have. Bird in the hand is worth two, as I say. So in the shape of a tangible bonus, today it's maybe better than the trust the bonus bucks to the future uncertainties of the markets, of the financial markets. Maybe they won't be able to pay those high interest rates in the future. So if I have that bonus in my hand now, I might prefer it. But an index annuity with an upfront bonus, you might be in a better position to take advantage of up periods in the early years because you have more money earning those cap rates. So when you have an index-linked interest, it might be better to have that initial bonus. However, listen, we could always face a problem if the realities of the bonus are not fully explained, which transfers from, this is done. This is a transfer from an existing annuity to one involved that has surrender charges. You know, annuities have surrender charges either for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and I've seen them even for 15 or 20 years. Many people would say, well, I have one that's not indexed annuity, I want to switch it over, and if you're still within a surrender charge period, it may or may not be advantageous. So just to say that an existing contract has a penalty of 5 years and the transfer to maybe the new one will result in a 7% surrender charge, the new contract has a 10% bonus, and it might appear that the transfer to a new annuity would pay off the old 7%. and leave you with an extra 3% found money. But the cost of that 10% bonus, again, now you've heard it, the cost of that 10% bonus is amortized and deducted from future earnings. You're, again, sweet nothings. You're not getting something for nothing. In essence, not only does the consumer still feel that the effect of the old 7% surrender charge, you'll get hit with it and you'll see the dollars, but also the effect will impact the future earnings longer than the 5 years originally left. So, give some consideration to what I call that sweet nothing, that getting an upfront bonus. I hope I answered those questions to some extent, but let me hear what somebody else has to say about sweet nothing.
Honey. All right. My baby whispers in my ear. Sweet nothing. He knows the things I like to hear. Sweet nothing. Things he wouldn't tell nobody else. Secret, baby, I keep them to myself. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing. We walk along hand in hand. Sweet nothing. Yeah, we both understand. Sweet nothing. Sitting in class or trying to read my book. My baby, give me that special look. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing. That's enough for tonight. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing.
All right. Shall I apologize for calling the bonuses and deferred annuities sweet nothings? Because I wanted to lead into the Brenda Lee song, Sweet Nothings. Well, yeah, I'll admit to that. That was Little Brenda Lee, 1959, Sweet Nothings. Many haven't heard it. Little Brenda Lee, she was Little Brenda Lee because her stature is under 5 feet. Started singing professionally at 10 years of age. There's an overnight wonder, right? 10 years of age, this little kid started singing professionally. All right. Finishing up a discussion or a mention of the bonuses in exchange of one annuity for another, it doesn't mean that it's bad to do an exchange from an existing to a new annuity that pays an upfront bonus. Not saying that. What I'm trying to say is that there should be other financial reasons for doing it. Maybe it's a stronger minimum guarantee on the new policy. The old policy is guaranteeing 1% lifetime. The new one may be at 2.5%, 3%. So if the guarantee is stronger, that might be a point of consideration. Or maybe the new policy offers additional ways of earning interest or gains, index-linked interest, or guaranteeing living benefits, for example. But even those reasons may not be enough if the old policy still has a high surrender charge. If you're going to be paying 7-8% to get out of an annuity, just to attempt to capture a bonus on the new one that's going to be amortized the cost is going to be amortized over the life of the contract, it still might not be worth it. In that case, maybe the consumer, I think, should be made to understand that you're funding part of that bonus, that compensation with the surrender charges. So it's not always what it might seem. It's not always as good. Listen, the companies are in business, right? And they need what? They need your money. And so when we spend it or we invest it, we should do it cautiously. And of course, information, none of it should be misinformation or misdirected. Also, I know some of you are surprised about the amounts of Social Security that's taxable up to 85% if a husband and wife are both filing a joint return at age 65, and they're paying up to 85% tax on their Social Security. Keep in mind that this is income over $44,000, and there are some of us out there who are earning less than $44,000 or $50,000 a year in retirement. So, yeah, you're paying on your Social Security, but it's as a result of not planning and not doing anything during the accumulation or the distribution years, over and over and over and over again. That's another song, isn't it? From the 50s. But take a look. Take a look at that webpage, Belcastro.Circle of Wealth. See, are you ready? Are you ready to retirement? Those questions, how long will your money last? Very important. And I see people today, I hear of people that can't afford certain medicines, doctor's visits, dental visits, things of this nature. Shouldn't be, my friends. Let's just do a little bit of planning. Let's know where our money is going so that we can proportion it and distribute it in the way that's going to do us the most amount of good. And of course, I'm always saying that legacy, and these are things that we like to leave to our children, but we also have to leave them with the thoughts that their moms and dads and their parents were well taken care of and happy in their distribution years. All right, my friends, 30 minutes is up. I've had an interesting show this morning talking about the annuities and the indexed annuities and the surrenders and the taxation of Social Security. Let's part now by saying, nice week coming up. Let's go out and do some good for somebody, make somebody happy, be kind to one another, and let's make somebody smile. Thanks for listening. Look forward to talking to you again next week. Have a great week, everybody.
When you're smiling,
When you're smiling,
when you're smiling,
when you're smiling,
and the whole world smiles with you.
smiles with you.
And when you're laughing,
When you're laughing,
oh, you're laughing.
oh, you're laughing,
When the sun comes shining through.
shining through.
When you're crying,
When you're crying,
you bring on the rain.
bring on the
Stop
rain.
your sighing.
Stop your sighing.
Won't you be happy again?
Happy again.
When you're smiling,
When you're smiling,
keep on smiling.
keep on smiling.
And the world will smile with you. Let's go now. Let's go, Sam.
You have been listening to Wealth and Wisdom with Fred Belcastro from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich and the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network on Friday, September the 4th, the year 2015. This broadcast was directed by John DeVita. Our special thanks to radio station manager Kevin Zeflik of WRHS FM Norwich and the executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network, John Chikanda. Until next time, please be safe and thanks for listening. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Wednesday, September the 2nd, the year 2015.
When you're laughing, you bring on the joy.
Bring on the joy.
Be happy.
And this is Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM, Norwich, Illinois. Thanks for listening and have a good day and a very good weekend, everyone.